Okay, so walk me through when you're at Hyatt, you're making a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Ritz comes and recruits you, and you take your opportunities to risk. What happened there?
First, and I would like to say that because I would like to impact young people in the conversations. That when you come to my age, you want to impact young people.
Sure, yeah.
When I worked for Hyatt, I was food and beverage director. That means I was in charge of the food and beverage operation of the hotel in Chicago. A year and a half later, I got a call from Mr. Freund, who was the president of Hyatt at the time, and said, Horst, sit down, we have something wonderful for you. You have done a great job with your European flair and all those things. We have what is maybe the best hotel in the company, and you're going to be general manager. Okay, this is a moment, the dream moment, the impossible moment, the moment that you will never accomplish, but dream from. And here he said, you're the general manager of the finest hotel we have. And I said, I won't take it. And he said, you're not leaving the company. I said, no, I'm not leaving the company because I want to be rooms manager first. I never was rooms manager.
Stop it.
Yeah. And he said, we're giving you rooms manager. And I said, yes, but I cannot be the best general manager in the company unless I have been rooms manager.
Wow, what a message.
And he said, I'm coming. He was in San Francisco. I'm coming to Chicago and talk to you. You're leaving the company. I said, no. He came and said, no, I want to be rooms manager. He said, we have the finest hotel for you. I said, make me rooms manager, give me the worst hotel. A year later, he called me. He made me rooms manager. A year later, he called me and said, remember what you said? Yeah, I want to be rooms manager. He said, no. You said you want to have the worst hotel. We got it. And I got Pittsburgh, which was a dump. A real dump.
What year is this?
That is 1974.
Okay.
So I moved to Pittsburgh, and 2.5 years later, I was promoted to a larger hotel in Detroit. And a year later, I was promoted to regional vice president over 10 hotels. And 2 years later, I was promoted to corporate vice president and to Chicago. And that wasn't good because when you're corporate vice president, you're one of a bunch of bumps. They're all vice presidents. If you're regional, you're the king in your region, but you know, still. It
Leader
was
of bums?
It was a promotion. And so I moved to Chicago at the time. And then I got that call after I was there for nearly 3 years.
To
call that there is a job. What they said, we are building 2 hotels, a Holiday Inn, but we cannot come to agreement. We want somebody recommended that we create our own brand. Mm-hmm. And you were recommended to run that brand.
Who recommended you?
Somebody I had that had worked in a vice president had worked in Hyatt before.
At Hyatt.
Yeah.
If you would have stayed with Hyatt, who would you have become?
Probably CEO.
You would have become the CEO of the company if you would have stayed with Hyatt.
That
was the trajectory.
Yeah,
Everybody
that was
knew.
The trajectory.
Okay, it was obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so why take this position, this opportunity that comes along?
Yeah, because at one word they said, when I asked them, what would you do with your hotels? And they said, operation, that would be up to you. And I started dreaming. And I saw a purpose. And it started to control me. And I said to my wife, I will make this the best hotel company in the world. If they let me really operation do what I want to do. I saw, because the leaders, mind you, there were individual hotels that were different, but the leaders of company leaders in the hotel business was Hyatt, Hilton International, Westin, and so on, Intercontinental. And they were basically all doing the same thing. And I thought I wouldn't compete with them, I just would go over them and pull the best out of them. And mix a little bit more. Do not get away from the relaxed service element of America, but put a little bit more elegance and customer attention into it. And it seemed to me when I listened to other companies, not hotel companies, there seems to be a lack of understanding that it's all about human beings. There are two groups of human beings when you're in business. The one group is your customer. The other group is your employees. So how do you, and both groups have emotions, thoughts, wishes, dreams. Yet they're not taken into account by those that run companies. I have to take into account. I have to know what is my customer's expectation from my product. What would they expect from me? And then I have to know, as a good manager, I have to create processes, system, and controls so I deliver the expectation of the customer, hopefully superior to my competition. But it only can be superior if I'm also a leader, not just a manager, and lead my people to want to do that. This can only be done if my people are working for the same purpose. There's purpose. And I still believe, I said that again, it's not a job that's the biggest gift a company can give you. The biggest thing a company can give you is purpose. Purpose and belonging.
You felt you didn't have that at Hyatt?
I felt that wasn't managed well. We still just hired people and then sometimes decided that employee is not good. Wait a minute. If that employee is not good, why did I hire him? It's leadership. Either I selected the right employee, or I oriented wrong, or I trained wrong, or I have the wrong work environment. So it's not the employee, it's me. And that acceptance was maybe there in some people, but it wasn't organized. And I knew if I organized my selection, my orientation, my training, and my sustaining the knowledge and create the right work environment, I could beat anybody. I still believe that. Sorry anybody, everybody thinks I'm very arrogant now. I think I could take any company in the world, make it the best company in the world.
You still believe that today?
Yes, absolutely.
Based on what premise?
Based on the premise that I would offer purpose, that I would be very careful in selecting employees and not just hire people. Come on, people are not selected, they're hired. And I would orient them to the job. I opened every single Ritz-Carlton hotel and every Capella hotel myself. I didn't go there to drink champagne. Well, I did a little bit too, but I went there to orient the employees as to who we are and welcome them, and role play to them how we deal with customers, and train them. So I was connected to them. So I made sure. But what did I train? I trained what I knew the customer wanted, not what I want. Not what I want. Come on, I have been on the board and many boards, and most CEOs, or nearly all, full of egos, full of emotion, full of insecurities, like we are as human beings, but has no respect that the employees and the customer has the same thing. What does a customer really want from you? What do they really want? I spoke to Classic Hotels of America not long ago. And before me was a speaker who said, everything is new, forget everything. Everything is technology, everything is new. 20 times, forget all you knew. If you're not in technology today, you are lost. I was the next speaker. And I said, nothing is new. Because you see, 5,000 years ago, human beings wanted to be respected. And this was true this morning and a minute ago, tomorrow, and in 5,000 years from now. And if my technology helps you, my customer, to tell you that I respect you, and at the same time care for you, and do my best for you, that's what it's all about. It's caring. And guess what? There's studies. And American consumer study, that's not very old, where 80% of consumers says, I deal with you if you care for me, even if I could buy the same product next door for less. So on the end, and organizations The respect for an organization is how I care for people. And that, because that creates trust. People talk about loyal customers. Well, what is a loyal customer? A loyal customer is somebody who trusts you. They're not trusting you because of the product. They're trusting you because how you treated them, that you respected them. And that is not, seems to be not understood. People work on the product and they do their best and they work hard. But I have to work on making sure that my customer knows I respect them.
So, you know, when you think about three things, product, service, price, in your eyes, in order, what would you put first? Product, service, price.
Service.
Service first. What's second?
Product.
Product? No, price is last. Because if
Yes.
you can get the first two, they'll pay anything for
If I
it.
get the first, I get more. Listen, Good Housekeeping was a magazine that developed value of product. They voted us, Ritz-Carlton in the early years, as best value. We were the most expensive, but we were the best value.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
that's the point. That's what I have. And the best value. Look, in our first hotel, I never forget it because it even shocked me. We put a chandelier up as we were finishing it up in the elevator foyer. This chandelier went up, and I realized there's a $28,000 chandelier hanging there. No guest ever commented on this darn chandelier. Nor did I do on the $200,000 Oriental rug, nor on all the marble. We bought whole mountains in Italy. Nobody commented, but they commented how we respected them, how we treated them, how we were friendly, how we responded, that we cared.
So could you have gotten away with a $800 rug and a $600 chandelier? You think you could have gotten away with it?
Yeah. Look at that. That was.
Because I see your Capella hotel, your Capella hotels that you build, you know,
It's not chandeliers. Oh yeah, it's still marble.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But the key thing that we did Capella, only 100 rooms, so I can individualize service. I couldn't individualize service in a 600-room Ritz-Carlton because I had 450 check-ins today, 500 check-out. But in a 100-room Capella with only individual and not conventions, I can call you before you come and say, we are coming to Singapore, what can I do for you? It's all about you. As long as it's more legal and ethical, I'll do it. There's no check-in time and check-out time. We will have a room for you when you arrive. You see, it works. We figured out how that works.
Yeah, I saw you explain somewhere where you said at Ritz, customer would be unhappy if check-in took more than 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
At Capella, you brought it down to 20 seconds.
Yes. In fact, that's the change of the human being. We knew after 4 minutes they will get angry. Today it's 20 seconds.
Oh my.
The timeliness, we better know that as businesses, timeliness expectations have become dramatic.
True.
Including responses to emails or so on. And we better know that there are two things that are greatly different, and that is timeliness and individualization. The millennials say, do it my way. Well, there you are again. What business has ever met a study what the millennials really want? Shouldn't we, if we have a business, shouldn't I know what my new customer's expectation is from me?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, expectation in millennial is, do it my way. Individualized to me. The difference, but look, if I would go to a McDonald's, I would say, I take a number one. The millennial says a number one, but no tomato, 2 slices of pickles, individualization.
Mm-hmm.
And if I run any business, I have to understand that there is individualization is expected.
Was that not the case before, or that was always the case?
Much less so. Much less.
Much less so 40 years ago?
Much less.
Really? So you just
dramatically.
expected whatever you sold, I accepted as a customer?
That's it.
Success is built on how you think. Influence is built on how you show up. Every detail matters because presence speaks before you do. This is more than style. The future looks bright.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.